Could you put down the water? Oh, yeah. Put down the phone and put it on that. Alright, we're in the middle of a live stream. You gotta move me. Yeah. Okay. So I've been trying to get back into Factorio.
Okay. How was it?
Well, I really can't figure out the trains.
Last night I played through Halo 3. Are we gonna continue this awkward silence or are we gonna talk?
So, Factor E oh oh is
Okay, just say one. Take your time, or not take your time. Just say one at a time.
Factorio is a factory game where you build a factory on an alien planet. Completely disregarding the harm you're doing to the native flora and fauna. Uh, like like Satisfactory, but its settings are different. They have a lot of gameplay difference. Is
Just say one word at a time.
I get it.
Okay. What would you rate it?
Both both Factorio and Satisfactory are amazing games, but I'd say Factorio is better.
No, I'm saying like out of 10. How would you rate them?
10.
Both of them at 10.
Okay, maybe Satisfactory at 9, Factorio at 10.
Okay. Because I played Halo 3 last night, and I'd say it's a 8 or 9.
Okay.
One thing I realized that really holds up is the fact that, despite the fact you can't sprint or move, like, or have any sort of advanced movement or any of that, the game doesn't feel slow. Or it never really felt slow to me.
Oh, okay. So while I haven't played The Witcher 3, I listened to some of the songs in its soundtrack, and it's definitely the best soundtrack I've ever heard.
Okay, I feel like we should stop going just on random strains of thought and actually have a coherent conversation.
Okay.
Okay. So you did Factoria. I did Halo 3, so let me just describe some stuff. Unlike what you complained about last time, the Flutter actually used more sparingly. They're designed in a way that they don't overstay their welcome.
Okay.
As well as many other changes include the brutes were overhauled as an enemy type from Halo 2. More in that they replaced the elites. Because the elites are. You remember the elite. You know which ones are the elites, right?
Yeah.
Because long story short, at the end of 2,
Yeah. Doesn't the game call them the hunters?
No, the hunters are the big ones. The brutes are introduced in 2 as they're essentially large gorillas and yetis.
What are the elites then?
Oh, the hunters are the big ones that you have to shoot in the back in order to kill them. The elites are the usual ones that are on par with you. You know, the or the no when they get blown up.
Okay.
The ones with energy swords, remember?
Oh, those are the elites.
Long story short, at the end of 2, the Covenant leadership, the prophets, decide to replace the elites with the brutes in the Covenant caste system. In response, the elites secede from the Covenant and form an alliance with the UNSC. So now if you're playing co-op, 3 of the other players will be, if you're playing co-op, long story short, one is Master Chief, while the others are all elites.
Well, that certainly is an improvement for from 4 Master Chiefs just running around.
Well, originally it was 2 Master Chiefs for the first game in Halo 2, so now they changed. And if you were in Halo 2, they'd switch back between the Master Chief and an elite, the Arbiter, and you just play as 2 Arbiters. And now for Halo 3, it's if you're playing in co-op, like a 4-person co-op, it's Master Chief, the Arbiter, and 2 elite foot soldiers.
So, actually, unfortunately, well, the in the original games in the Halo in the Master Chief Collection had split screen co-op once they were added to the but in the Master Chief Collection they don't have that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did several things. For 3, many features were added, though 1 was removed that I know of. They removed fall damage. So now you can just jump high or go fling around high distances without needing to worry about falling to your death. Unless you're falling off the world for some reason. Falling underneath the map. But they also added several other things like new game modes, newer guns, and they added Forge, the ability which allowed you to create your own maps, and Theater, the ability to watch clips from. You could essentially, it's always filming every multiplayer match and campaign you're playing on, so you can go back and watch that if you feel like it.
I need to mostly for my hands. Okay. They're pretty dry.
Yeah. The way the brutes differed from the elites when it came to combat, now that the elites are allies, the brutes replaced the elites in combat instead of the elites. So the main difference is that the brutes have jetpacks.
Okay.
Put that down. This is a live stream.
Oh. Okay.
So
a lot of the differences between satisfactory and factorial amount to satisfactory.
Andrew, remain. Don't go off on tangents.
Okay.
Keep it. Long story short, one of the differences, the brutes have jetpacks, which is different from the elites. Another difference is that the way you can actually tell how weak or strong they are depending on how armored they are. As in, the more damage they take, the armor pieces will start breaking off. so you can tell how weak they are based on that.
You know how I was telling you there were a lot of differences between Satisfactory and Factorial.
Oh my gosh, why are you changing the conversation?
Okay. Okay. Do you have anything more to say about Halo?
Well, I was going to say a few things like, well, actually, wait, let me think of what else I was going to say. One thing that they also, wait, there was one game mode that was added to it that I absolutely loved.
What?
Infection.
Oh yeah.
Kill someone, they swap teams.
Okay.
But, Andrew, how about this? How about we discuss how realistic or how plausible some of the lore of it is? Because you seem like you'd be interested in something like that. Because specifically Earths. But it's let me think of first thing. The UNSC was founded at the end around 2170 after a 10-year conflict known as the Interplanetary War between the Earth governments and Martian secessionists.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too implausible that they united the civilization under one military command after a separatist crisis.
Yeah, but originally the UNSC was not really a government. Originally, it was simply essentially the interstellar wing of the UN.
Yeah, I know it wasn't in the government, and it was or was and it was only put in for personal power due to the war with the covenant.
Yeah, but long story short, after that, 59 years later, in 2229, the slip space engine is invented, so thus, faster than light travel is now a thing.
You There is only one way to travel faster than light that is even considered remotely hypothetically possible, and that's using antimatter. So, does it use antimatter?
We don't know, but there have been a few basically a few types of blasts from different ships that they call, if something gets shot, like, that are called antimatter charges. But long story short, the different Earth nations start colonizing the various worlds outside of the solar system, and pretty much the 23rd, 24th, and 25th centuries are almost entirely defined by exploration, colonization, and secessionist terrorism. So, long story short, the mostly secessionist movements are the biggest issue for humans during this time. Also, one thing that I'm glad they avoided was they didn't just just have it be mostly defined by, English.
English what?
Like, it's not just, the UNSC is clearly not just English. Or it's clearly not just like Anglosphere dominated. Well, actually, technically it is, but a lot of the other cultures do exist very much and aren't completely ignored.
Oh.
Like, for example, one of the most important planets, Reach, for one of the most important colonies settled by humans, or one of its most successful, it's the majority of its population speak Hungarian, as in it was mostly settled by people from Hungary. So most communities are Hungarian farmers who built into mountains.
What? Do you have anything more to talk about Halo?
Are you going to add to the conversation, or are you just gonna listen?
No, I don't think I have much to say about Halo. I don't know as much about the lore as you do.
I'm just trying to ask, do you think this is realistic? Or how realistic do you think these lore ideas are?
I'm not sure how likely le, 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 mono, assuming the Earth is united under one government. I'm not sure how likely a monocultured colony would be to spring up.
I'm just saying, they're not monocultured. And in fact, Earth is not completely unified. Well, I mean, the U.S. unifies with Canada and Mexico.
So just like Fallout.
Yeah, except in this case, it was a peaceful unification for economic reasons. As well as another major nation is known as the East African Federation.
Well, I know in the Fallout verse, the U.S. conquered Mexico by force, but
In 2151, they became so desperate for oil that they occupied Mexico.
I'm not sure whether they diplomatically annexed Canada or did it by force.
What they did was when when the People's Republic of China invaded Alaska.
Yeah, I know they did it to get better access to Alaska.
Yeah, but what happened was once they were forcibly moving, they were essentially had to coerce Canada into letting them send troops through, and then eventually they decided it would just be easier to just outright annex them, so that's what they did. In 26, if there's a newspaper in Fallout 3 saying United States annexes Canada, and it's dated May 2067.
Well, that leaves it not entirely clear. They coerced him, but ultimately diplomatically annexed him, or annexed him through a full-on invasion.
What I'm assuming happened was that they used threat of military force to maybe coerce Canadian Parliament into agreeing to annexation.
Yeah, that seems like the most reasonable option.
Yeah. Something else that was what I think of. As well as the EU invaded the Middle East in the 2050s in the Fallout universe.
Isn't it? Isn't the is isn't it? Didn't it become called the European Commonwealth after it became one country?
That's what I'm saying. It got I'm guessing in the Fallout universe around, say, maybe the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, the European Commonwealth was established. And then they invade the Middle East over oil.
Is that I know about that portion of Fallout lore.
But one thing I think is interesting is the is the Soviet Union still around technically? I mean, they probably wouldn't have been part of the European Commonwealth, and it's mentioned several times that yes, the USSR didn't collapse in the Fallout universe. It continued into the 2070s, and it seems at the time of the Great War, or by the time of the Sino-American War, they might have been pursuing Détente with the United States.
Todd, what does that mean?
As in they were trying to normalize and open up trade with the United States at the time. So in other words, the Soviets were starting to lean towards the United States during the 2060s, at least.
So can we talk about some competitive Fallout and Halo lore?
What do you want to talk about? What's another idea?
Okay, we could talk about the difference between Factorial and Satisfactory.
I haven't played any of those. Maybe I should come back and once I've played them.
Oh, well, well, so because I was well, I don't know much about the Red Dead Redemption series. I know in the original Red Dead Redemption, Arth- Arthur Morgan is trying to redeem himself for the actions he did in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a prequel.
I know it's set 12 years earlier. First game is 1911. Second game is 1899.
But if he's not redeeming himself in Red Dead Redemption 2, why is it called Red Dead Redemption 2?
Because he died in the first game, meaning that if they want to play as him again, it has to take place in the past.
Hey, I didn't play through the first game.
Well, again, lesser short, at the end of the first game, he's killed, and then the game ends with his son hunting down his killer and killing him.
Andrew is responded by spoiling it even more.
Sorry, that's my thing. I gotta go. That was a good end.